Hello and welcome everyone to today's lesson, which is all about the letter S. Let's have a look at what we're going to be studying. We're going to look at the 4 uses of the letter S in English and also 3 ways to pronounce the final S. So starting with the first use of the letter S, it is to make regular plural nouns. For example, we have 1 month but 2 months. A recipe, some recipes. An orange, many oranges. The bag, one bag. The bags, several bags. The experiment, one experiment. The experiments, several experiments. Now, there are a few important notes to share with you on this point. The first one is that you must make sure that you do not add an S to uncountable nouns or irregular plurals. For example, the word information in English is an uncountable noun and we cannot make it plural. We cannot put an S on it. So avoid saying things like some informations. It's always some information, singular. Also, there are some plural nouns that are irregular. They have not been made with an S. For example, people. People is the plural of person. One person, several people. Again, you have to be careful not to add another S and make it double plural. So don't say peoples, like a few peoples. It's a few people. Another note about the plural nouns is that you must make sure you do not add an S to an adjective, even if this adjective is formed with a number. So, for example, we have many firms, but not many big firms, many big firms, no S on the word big. Even if we have a number in our adjective, for example, 6 kilo, which is a compound adjective made from a number and a noun, we don't keep the S. We don't say a 6 kilos bag, but a 6 kilo bag. So let's move on to the second use of the letter S, which is third person singular verbs. Right, as you know, when we conjugate the present simple tense with I, you, we, and they, we just use the base verb, but with he, she, and it, we need to add an S to our base verb. For example, I live, but Sue, which is a she, lives in a quiet town. You go, but Tim, a he, goes to work by train. These phones, they have nice features, but this phone, so it, has nice features. Some notes about this use of the letter S. Remember that there is no S in past or future simple tenses. The S is only present in the present simple tense. So avoid saying things like he took the bus yesterday, or in the future tense, he will takes, no S after will, he will take it again tomorrow. There is also no S after the help verb does or any modal verb. So again, avoid saying she doesn't takes. She doesn't take. The S of the he, she, it is in the help verb does. She doesn't take the train every day. And with modal verbs, for example, can and must, there is no S anywhere. Not on the modal verb, not on the verb that follows the modal verb. So she can, not cans, she can take it every day. She must take it every day, not she must takes. Okay, looking at the third use of the letter S, it is to tell us that something belongs to someone or something belongs to something else. When we are talking about possessions of people, then we use apostrophe S. Jenny's car. Charles's idea. Now, if someone's name ends with the sound Z, like Charles, you can also drop the second S and just end with an apostrophe, Charles' idea. A nurse's timetable. Now, if your noun, nurse, becomes plural, many nurses, then we drop the second S. We just keep the plural S. And in writing, we just put an apostrophe. So it's a nurse's timetable and also many nurses' timetables. Some notes here. The first one is that the possession relationship for objects, one object belonging to another object, is usually expressed differently, not with apostrophe s, but with the and of, the end of the movie. But there are some exceptions where apostrophe s is used preferably. One is countries. For example, Italy's growth is better and much more common than the growth of Italy. With companies and groups and organizations, for example, Amazon's CEO. You can say the CEO of Amazon, but it's not as common as using the apostrophe s. Time periods, yesterday's session, rather than the session of yesterday. Another note, still on the possessive s, is that you must make sure you don't use an apostrophe when you write for the possessive pronoun or the question word of possession. So if we had the price of the house, its price, it's spelled ITS, there's no apostrophe. Or if we want to ask a question about the car, it's Jenny's car, the question word is whose, W-H-O-S-E, whose car, not W-H-O apostrophe S. Avoid the apostrophe in these two words. And one more note, it's that you also must make sure that you don't use an apostrophe when you write for the plural forms of abbreviations and decades. So if you have one CEO, two CEOs, you just add the plural S, there's no apostrophe S. Or 1850s, the decade, there is no apostrophe when you write this down. It's 1850s directly with the plural S. Right, now finally the fourth use of the letter S is to contract the verbs is and has. For example, instead of saying it is raining, we usually say it's raining. It has rained, it's rained. He is leaving, he's leaving. He has left, he's left. The only way to know whether the contraction apostrophe S is or has is by looking at the verb that follows it. If it's with ing, so the present participle, obviously it is, the present continuous tense. If it's the past participle, ed, or the past participle of an irregular verb, then it has rained, the present perfect tense. Right, we can now look at the pronunciation of the letter S when it arrives at the end of a word, whether it's a noun or a verb. With all vowel sounds and most voiced sounds, the sound that you will have to create is Z, the voiced sound Z. Let's look at some vowel sound examples. For example, recipe, recipes. Go, goes. Jenny, jennies. He, his. Example of voiced sounds, bag, bags. Live, lives. Tim, tims. There are two exceptions, and those are the sounds Z and J. So, for example, the word quiz ends in the sound Z. We can't now add another Z and make it plural. Now we pronounce the E, quizzes, quizzes. And the same with G. We can't say orange, we need to separate, and we put in the sound E there, oranges. Now, if your last sound is an unvoiced sound, for example, F or K, then the sound of the letter S is also unvoiced. S, months, takes, cliffs, it's. Except three sounds, and these are the sounds S, Sh, and Ch. So nurse is nurses. We now pronounce the E. Wash, washes. Church, churches. Right, that's the end of this short lesson on the letter S. I hope it's provided you with a good revision of when we use the letter S in English and how we pronounce it correctly. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. For more on this topic, click here. Remember to also check out my complete online course and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and happy studies!